Yep.
I have a customer from Canada.
Yeah.
He drives through just to buy your dipping sauce, freezes it, and comes back to LA.
Shut the f- up.
Dead ass serious. I should have
That's
taken a
crazy,
picture.
man.
He fucking brought me some of it like a week ago. And I'm gonna be like, yo, I'm gonna fucking tell these fools. He freezes this
my
shit. He just
God.
has a bunch of ramekins. Fucking like, he's like, yo, dude, they got the most fire dipping sauce. I was like, it's just called dipping sauce? That's why I didn't know what to call it, because I was like, it can't be just called dipping sauce. Like, that's
Yo,
so
it
fun. It's
really
like, give
is,
it a fucking-
actually.
give it a
It totally
fucking-
is.
Anything could be dipping sauce.
The following podcast is a Pie to Pie production.
Every slice tells a story.
This episode is brought to you by Karen Spring Mills. It's not your average flour. They stone mill everything, which means enhanced flavors, preserved nutrients, and embraces a more traditional, sustainable way of doing things, all qualities that I want in my dough and in my restaurant. They're here to help you bake your best. Better pizza, better future. Flat iron pepper. When you pop these peppers, you are gonna know. You can smell it, you can feel it, you can taste it. They are liberating pizzerias from low quality pepper flakes. Stop finishing your pizza with crap. Head to flatironpepper.com and join the Pepper Flake Revolution. Slice is building tools now to support the independent pizzeria, and not just Slice users, but the independent pizzeria industry as a whole. Like us, they are telling the stories of the independent pizza shop owners and ultimately creating tools that help the small guy compete with the big chains. This business can be lonely, but with Slice, you can be in business for yourself, not by yourself. This episode is brought to you by Maestro Sausage, the only sausage we use at Hot Tongue. They produce sausages specifically with pizzerias in mind, and you can tell. So if your sausage isn't hitting all the right notes, let Maestro lead the way. Well, first I want to start this off by saying I met you last year in the bathroom, at Tony G's.
It was, Pizza Rock.
Baller ass party.
Oh, fuck yeah. It was.
I was
Sorry,
talking.
can I cuss in this?
What was that?
Can I swear?
Oh,
okay,
you can do anything you want. Yeah.
I don't know if it was like a family friend.
No. Well, it is family friendly.
Yeah.
It just depends on what you let your kids listen to.
All right.
Yeah. That was a good party. I'd
it was a
never
great
been
party.
to it before, and that was.
I got to tour the kitchen in the back, and
Did Tony Did Tony shoot you around?
not Tony, but his chef did. Chef, I think Anthony or something like that. But I did meet Tony. Good time.
Yeah.
It's like fucking meeting Batman, man. It was sick.
Dude, Tony definitely drives a Batmobile.
Oh, yeah.
That's 100%. Yeah, dude. Well, I'm glad that. I mean, then we all went on the Stanislaus Summer Harvest
Yes.
this summer, which was fucking. I feel like that might be one of the tightest things that ever happens to me in my life.
Oh, yeah.
Like, just that was, to me, that was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
we
we definitely don't, like in this industry, I find we don't get bones thrown at us very often. And that was like definitely a real nice one. And got to meet really cool people on the way too. So
Yeah, Stanislaus' experience was a really unique experience, and we learned a lot in terms of how to operate on another level. They really take it to the next level in terms of looking at the long play. They have employees that have been there for 30 years, and they've chipped them off pieces of the company, and it's like truly ride or die for them.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. I think that was like the main takeaway too. It wasn't even about tomatoes, but it was just like, because it was like Disneyland, dude. Every person you talk to is like, yo, what's up? Like, I do customer service and this fucking job rocks. It's like, dude, you can't pay somebody enough money to like have them do that. Like, that's somebody that's committed to a company that loves being there. And like, I don't know, like to me, it was just like, how do I bring that back? And like, cause talk about, I don't like to use the word family for your restaurant, because I just think family is a completely different thing, but how to bring that bond where like you can get people to care that much about, I don't know. It was definitely some eye-opening shit, because it was like, damn, everyone here is truly, truly happy. Shout out Peaches.
Shout out Peaches. Yeah, shout out to everybody there.
shout out Steve.
I think they've done really well at curating a culture that really fosters that type of commitment. Whether it's the way they do their meetings, or whether it's a lot of the merchandise that they had, not merchandise, but like uniforms, and just making sure everything's very cohesive with each other, so that when you walk in, it's consistent every time. You know what to expect, and you're going to expect, for the most part, I would imagine, a pretty good day at the job.
Yeah. How does that compare with your guys' operation?
That's definitely something we're working on. I mean, we want to get everybody to that point where they want to be with us for, the next 25, 30 years, because that's the operation that we're trying to run. And in order for us to do that, it's more than just the wage that you're paying employees. It's, like I said, it's the culture that you're curating for them.
Yeah. How do you cultivate culture?
From the ground up, like as a leader, I find there's many ways to lead people. There's a way to lead people from the very top. There's a way to lead people from the bottom as well. And every company does it differently, I find. And, everybody has their own style. And what we're trying to do is like a mixture of both. Like obviously as a small guy starting off, like we started as kind of like almost like, I know you're saying family, like kind of like a family-run business in a way, but we're trying to implement those corporate structures and the, those moves that the big guys do that we see, like Stanislaus and whatnot, and try to implement the culture and the, just like the way they handle their business. Yeah. Because one day we want to be, just as big as them, maybe. Yeah. So.
Yeah, whether it's the way you reward your employees, whether it's the the aesthetic that they walk into every day that they feel proud of or they don't. Every small detail I find has a lot to do with the contribution of the entire culture. Mm-hmm. Learning about the process of our pizza, why it's award-winning, the things that we do outside of the business. And we really just want to show people that it is a business to us, and we are huge fans of maximizing our profits and whatnot. But at the end of the day, it all started off because we have a real passion for pizza, Andy and I.
Do you guys have like a ton of like policy or like stuff that like you've worked from the ground up on like what your culture looks like? Like pillars, like these are the pillars of our culture. Like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, of course. There's definitely a spot that we want to be. Yeah. And there's definitely a lot of things that we've learned along the way. When Andy and I started, it started off, about 5 years ago. We didn't have any experience running a business. We both worked at a couple of places learning how to make pizza. I had a pretty decent background in sales, marketing, and a bit more of that corporate structure. So we had an idea of what needed to be done. But obviously, as new business owners, we got into this making so many mistakes, and the problems that we've had to solve, I feel like, are so unique towards our specific operation. Right now, what we're trying to do is really just see what we've done over the last 5 years and see, the good policies that we've created, see the policies that we've created that haven't worked out so much, and look to see what we need to eliminate and what we need to focus on more.
And you guys are pretty young, right? I remember like you're around 28.
Myself, I'm 28. Yeah.
28.
I'm 34.
34. Yeah. So 5 years ago, I mean, like you're fucking a baby.
I was a baby.
You're a baby, and
I just turned 30.
You just went through puberty.
Yeah.
So
literally,
like it's. I just know that like that those like the value system and culture and all that stuff. It kind of takes a back seat at the beginning. At least it has in my journey. Like you don't think about those things. It's all about pizza, art, marketing, blah, blah, blah. And then those things just kind of fall into place. But it's like, it being an afterthought is like a real way for like a business to kind of deteriorate from the inside, no matter how good your pizza is,
We're really blessed when we first started. Obviously, like you said, we were very young and we were hungry. We wanted to take this big risk, but we opened in October 2020, which was in the neck of it with the COVID during the pandemic.
That seems like a good time to open up.
It was a great time for pizza to open up. Yeah, honestly, looking back at it now, if you opened like 6 months earlier, it would have been like even better. But we didn't really realize that at first. And then when we first opened, we were lucky enough that the first we did weekends, so it was Friday to Sunday. First weekend, it was 50 pizzas per day. Second weekend, it was 100. And then third weekend, we pretty much maximized at like 250 pizzas a day. And that, dude, we found the capacity to the original shop. Yeah.
250 a day.
Yeah.
And you have a smaller location and then a bigger one?
That's
Are they
original.
both in Hamilton?
Yes. Yeah.
The original location's pretty fucking tiny.
Yeah, it's like what?
900.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
square
you're
feet,
ripping 250 pies out of that a day.
That's the max. That would be a combination of 14 and 18
crazy.
inches pies.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, on those Friday, Saturday, when we're fully booked we're only open for 6 hours as well. When we're fully booked for those 6 hours right there, it's about 250 pizzas.
So you guys were banging well before you got the international title of best cheese slice.
Yeah.
You guys were already fucking ripped.
We're doing pretty good. I mean, our trajectory was definitely on the up, but the award really just took it from like here to like that. Before we won the award, I mean, just off the strength of our own popularity, we were able to open up a huge restaurant in, what was it, like not even the second year? We paid back all of our, investments within the first year, had enough money to put an offer down on an existing restaurant. It was pretty popular from there. We're lucky to be in a really good area that has a lot of festivals and stuff. So we're in a good hub in the city. And we've seen some success before that. It's funny when people come in and, they just heard of us through the award and through the news articles and whatnot. And we've got some real like OG customers that have been with us since day one that, weren't even fazed about the award. And, they felt like they already knew that we had a really good pizza that could contend.
Well, yeah, they're like the fans that knew about the band before anybody else knew about the band. It's like,
exactly.
Fucking awards, dude. I knew about this. They're gatekeepers. They're like, I knew about this shit. I didn't have to wait 45 minutes.
Yeah.
I used to get this shit in 25. Fuck this award.
I remember some customers coming in after we won the award and it was just bonkers in there. And, hearing some side comments like, oh, I hate that they won the award. They're just so busy now that you can't even get a pizza anymore.
Yeah. Well, this is an interesting thing and something that like I really like talking about because one, I don't know how. I haven't dealt with this myself. So but it's like a double-edged sword getting an award or an accolade or something like this because when hype is built, you then have people that don't know about you that maybe drive somewhere to come see you. And then there is this expectation that you're going to be open, that it's going to be a certain amount of weight and blah, blah, blah. And so then like, how as business owners do you deal with one, like just the uptick in business and then like dealing with that expectation and certain customers that are expecting like something that they heard about on the news?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, we still hear every single weekend. Like we find a lot of tourists from out of town are still coming. It's up to this day, and it's been a year now to try COWABUNGA out. And a lot of them come from an hour, 2 hours, sometimes away. And like as you know, as from making pizza, like we don't like to sell our dough when it's not ready, right? So there's only so much dough each day, and like some days might be way more popping than we expect. And by 8 o'clock. We're out of dough, and we have like 2 hours left to the service. And, we have people coming from out of town that want to try our pizza that, some of them understand. Some of them are like, oh, that's so good to hear. And then a lot of them don't understand. And then a lot of them get really angry because they're, they spent time to come out. They're hungry, and, we've had to go through a lot of, changing the way we run our service. For example, like before, we have a slice counter as well as dine-in as well as takeout. And we used to do 8 different pizzas in the slice counter at all times before we won the award. And as soon as we won it, we got into the issue of like long wait times. The slices weren't available that people wanted. So we had to cut that down, and then as well make it so that you can only order slices from the front counter. Things like that, like just changing the rules.
A lot of compromises.
Yeah, for when we're like very, very busy. And then the difficulty is that like sometimes we're not that busy, you know what I mean? Sometimes we're not at like there's no like wait list for a table, and we have to alter our rules accordingly. And it's really hard to expect that, like we see like a good like 400 to like 800 people a day, I would say, between slices, dine-in, and takeout. And it's really hard to see.
How many fucking tickets do you do a day?
A lot. Like, I mean, some of them are one slice, right?
Yeah,
but we're on a Monday to Wednesday, we're doing 200 slices. And then...
So are you close to 300, 400 tickets?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A day?
Some of that. Yeah. It's...
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's great, honestly.
Can you share like what like a bangin' Friday night is, like sales-wise?
Yeah, I mean, of course. So after the award, before the award, let's say we're coasting at a good like 8K on a good night on Friday, and then after the award we're grazing like 16 to 18.
But what we peaked at.
Yeah. Canadian dollars.
If your sausage needs aren't hitting all the right notes, then let Maestro lead the way. Maestro has been working closely with pizzerias for decades. They produce sausages designed specifically with pizzerias in mind. And you can tell their Italian sausage crumbles look like they were handmade in your shop, and they will taste that way as well. With over 80 years in business, family owned and operated, the family is incredible, and so is their product. It's quality sausage with quality ingredients. Click the link in the show notes. A classical masterpiece awaits you. Back to the show.
Do you guys sell alcohol?
We do.
Yeah, we do.
Okay.
Yeah, but it doesn't sell nearly as good as the pizza, though. We're very food focused there.
And is
so.
most of that takeout?
A lot of it is takeout. Like I would say like 40-ish% is takeout.
Yeah.
We're really trying. We have a triple deck pizza master, the 843, and we're pushing it out like, tight. Like we're putting like all arrangements of the 3 sizes that we have to try to maximize how much we push out. And a lot of it is takeout.
When we
Go ahead.
When we won the award, but talking about a lot of the compromises that we had to make, we really tried to re-strategize and start doing more takeout and less dine-in. Just because when people dine in, the experience is, arguably a little bit better, but it takes longer for that experience to happen. And when we're trying to push volume, especially when there's so much demand, having more tables and seats there prevents us from making as many pizzas as we actually want to.
Yeah.
Because when somebody comes in for a takeout pizza, they could be walking in and spending 2 minutes at our place and picking up pizzas that'll feed 10 people. Mm-hmm. Whereas if you have 10 people dining in, it now becomes a thing. We have to wait for them to make their order. We have to wait for them to eat. We have to clean up after everybody. So we had actually taken out some tables and replaced them with things like arcade machines, so that there was less opportunity for people to actually dine in, and we would be able to sell more takeout pizzas. Because with dine-in and with the slices and with everything happening, we had a system where we do pizzas on time slots. So it's not just, fire it when the order comes in and whatnot. We do pizzas for like 3 o'clock, 3:10, 3:20, 3:30. Sometimes we do them in the 5-minute intervals as well. And in order for us
That's how people place their order?
that's our system.
Okay,
Yes. When they
okay.
place the order, you get placed into a time slot.
Got it.
And when we had done that, we went from being able to do 2 takeout pizzas every 5 to 10 minutes to now 3 takeout pizzas for every 5 to 10 minutes, with dine-in still happening, with slices still happening as well.
Yeah.
So those little things, we had to look at the numbers really and see how we can fit it into our system with the new demand that we have.
Yeah.
Just because our hugest issue is that we couldn't meet the demand. And the biggest problem that we had to solve was how do we just get more pizzas out there? Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, for the people that really want to dine in, we had to do less seats.
Yeah, but that's like some creative shit that you kind of like you can't put another oven in there. So what are we gonna do? We're gonna take the seats out.
Yeah.
I mean, like that's smart. You know what I mean? Like that's like one of those things where you're kind of banging your head against the wall until you're like the light bulb goes off and it's like, yo, let's just take out 15 seats. Boom.
Sure.
Yeah.
Now they can't fucking eat in here.
Yeah.
exactly.
When we first got this issue, in my head, I was thinking the opposite. I was like, how the fuck do I get more seats in here? We can't just cram more people in here. But then when you look at it at the end of the day, how many people do you see in per seat there on like a regular day, and how much does it generate you compared to, like Justin said, just pushing out like the same amount of takeout pizza and more if we just reserve that oven space for just takeout pizzas. So,
I mean, I think that anybody with like a fast casual service me personally, do not spend money on a dining room or like. Here's my reasoning for it. At Hot Tongue, I love seeing the restaurant alive. I love seeing it full, jumping,
great
people
energy.
having a good time, drinking, eating slices, taking pictures,
Yep.
the whole shebang, kids running around. But that happens 3 times a week. The whole Friday, kind of Saturday, Sunday, you have a full dining room, but the other, like, it's just wasted space.
Yeah.
And so it's like, I would if I could go back, man, half that dining room would be kitchen space.
Another oven.
Yeah. Or a bigger pizza prep, or like a shell station where like people, like you could put 2 people on the line, like, but like everything's so fucking tight. But that's not for everybody. Some people want to create that experience.
Yeah.
But to me, pizza is to go. It's a pizza party at somebody's house. Like that's how I never dined in. My parents, you ain't fucking eating here. You know what I mean? Like we're taking this shit to go, but yeah, I would recommend anyone out there thinking about it, the less space, the better. And less alcohol sales is going to be a big part of your shit.
Yeah. Certainly. I mean, when we opened it, it felt a little bit like a passion project. You know, it's something that, I personally really wanted for myself, for my career. But, at the end of the day, you put so much effort and money into a project. And especially after opening the first location. And like I said, as soon as we opened, we hit the ground running. There was no lull. There was no time of us struggling when we first opened the shop. It came to us when we opened the restaurant, because we had put all of our money into this restaurant, and to flip a profit on any given day, it was almost 3 times as much as our shop did. So that was definitely the big difference between that. And now I look back at it, and I the only thing that we're really busy now, so it's great, after the award. But you don't know you're gonna win the award when you open a restaurant like that. Yeah. But I think we would have benefited a lot if we opened maybe 1 or 2 other shops that are just small form factor and just are cash cows before you open something like a pizza,
like a hub.
Exactly.
To have that experience.
Exactly. Like Pizza Rock, for example, Tony G definitely had opened dozens and dozens of other spots. I feel before he opened that.
Yeah. And opening the restaurant was a huge learning experience. Like when Andy said, it was a big passion project. So we were really trying to do all the things that we thought would just be cool.
Yeah, of course.
Great to do. Just, like you said, when people are in there, the energy, the vibe, it's a different type of reward. Mm-hmm. It's not necessarily a monetary one.
Of course.
But the feeling is just so much. People get to hang out. You get to actually interact with the customers, and you get to be part of the community and whatnot. But what I'm trying to say is, we did a lot. We did the slice counter. We did the bar. We've got a patio. We've got dine-in. We've got takeout as well. And at times it felt like we, bit a little bit more than we can chew, which is why we had to dumb down things a little bit.
Yeah.
But all in all, I don't regret opening, a full 70-seat dine-in restaurant, because we've learned so much from that all of the next operations that we do are just going to be bits and pieces of what we did at COWABUNGA Plus. Mm-hmm. And then we just streamline, just doing slices and takeout in a spot depending on the location that you're at. Or maybe one day if we do want to do a dine-in, just something small with 10 seats, and you really get to focus on not doing volume pizzas and having a bit more of that experience without stressing out so much.
Yeah, and I think that's the nature of being an entrepreneur, is you literally have to fail yourself to figure it out and be like, well, I'm going to take what worked this time around, and you wouldn't have you have to go through that lesson. I feel like so many of us, people can tell us you gotta do this, man. Yeah. It's shut the fuck up.
You would
shut up, old timer. What are you talking about? It's dude, I'm younger than you. Yeah, but but then you gotta see it through, And I think that that's the best way to learn too, because if it doesn't happen to you personally, I don't think you have that full perspective that it's no, you don't understand.
Yeah. You wouldn't imagine how many people in our whether it was friends, family, colleagues, or other people in the industry in our city, people kind of doubting us in a way of why would you guys go from opening a really pop and takeout spot during the pandemic to opening a restaurant? A lot of people, I feel thought that it was the wrong choice for us. Mm-hmm. And at the time we were very I still have a lot of confidence, but we had a lot of confidence in our company, and we really want to go into something with a splash, essentially. And at the end of the day it worked, but a lot of people were confused as to which route we were trying to go when we opened the restaurant. So I
feel that's good. Confuse people, dude. Just fucking juke them out, dude.
Yeah.
When we first started out, we tried to just break rules when it came to opening up a pizzeria. Like I was saying, we do time slots for our orders. So when we had first opened up, it was in the pandemic, and it wasn't a secret opening or anything like that. But since I was since I had a pretty large following on Instagram and social media, we were using pizzatography as like the behind the scenes, the sneak previews. And when we had first opened up the shop and did our pre-orders and like our like ghost pop-up, it was through that. So a lot of people kind of were in the know from Instagram. And then this whole dialogue started popping up that there's this place that opened up in Hamilton, they're a new pizzeria, and it's Instagram only orders. So people started thinking like, what the hell's going on? Like you have to order on Instagram, you have to make a reservation. And we did that for the first couple of weeks. And then people were also confused by the time slots. I think the time slots are genius. Every place that I've worked at, you call a pizza place, it's busy, and they just give you an estimate as to how long it's going to take. You can get there at the time that they gave it to you at, but it might not be ready. Or it might have been ready 20, 30 minutes earlier than that. Whereas if we do time slots, we know and it's pre-orders, and we sell out all of the pre-order slots before we even go into service. We know exactly what we're dealing with. We know how many pizzas we need to make. For the most part, we know what type of pizzas they're going to be. So we know if, we're low on a certain product, we should probably go get some of that product or stop taking, orders for that product. And yeah, there's a lot of things that we did that were just so different that people weren't used to. Mm-hmm. We're also just like two Asian guys and like a predominantly, in our city, like white Italian culture. So that was also a little bit different for people.
Is that, well, what do you mean different? Has that been weird?
There's a lot of people
have people been racist?
Not directly to us.
No.
But I do feel that there's people out there that are like, oh, these guys aren't Italian. What do they know about bacon pizza? They're just a bunch of Asian guys. There's a bunch of Chinese guys that that make pizza. And it's like, I'm not even Chinese, and I don't even think it matters anymore.
Yeah.
Especially with all of the knowledge that's out there.
Of course.
Where you're making pizza from. So
yeah. Is Hamilton like 45 minutes outside of
45 to an hour, depending
Toronto?
On the traffic? Yeah.
Okay.
Some of us in the pizza industry might only know Slice from the online ordering app, which is still around, but Slice is doing a lot more these days. They're building tools now to support the independent pizzeria, and not just Slice users, but the independent pizzeria industry as a whole. They're telling the stories of pizza shop owners, creating resources, and ultimately products that help the smaller guy compete with the bigger chains. Slice now has an integrated POS system that's specifically designed for pizzerias. They're doing stuff like SEO, marketing, and full website build-outs, along with custom box pricing that you are going to get probably way lower than what you're paying for right now. They have a ton of resources for every owner. Buying power is a huge thing, especially when you're talking about big chains. And what Slice allows you to do is negotiate with suppliers and vendors to get a lower rate. That's what the Slice network allows. There's 24/7 tech support for customer care, and an extension of your staff is what they call it. This business can be lonely, as you all know if you listen to this podcast, but it doesn't have to be. With resources provided by Slice, you can be in this business for yourself, but not by yourself.
Like we talk about like people being Italian American, and like you kind of get a special clout. Like it's true. I made the joke that like I'll be talking to somebody, and then they'll ask me where in New York I'm from or whatever, and when I tell them I'm from Seattle, they're like straight disappointed, and they're like, like. Cool. I'll be like, dude, you forgot your pizza. They're like, it's cool. I don't want it. Like, like I would like predominantly like you kind of want this like people unknowingly kind of like want this like authentic like known as fucking recipe blah blah blah. So like I wonder like is that something you've like kind of ever had to deal with, like that stereotype of like, where's the owners? It's like, we're the fucking owners, dude.
Yeah, exactly. No, I feel like we
that
got
and being
that.
young too.
Being young and multicultural, we hire a lot of multicultural staff. Mm-hmm. Not like purposely. We just find these people are great workers. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think that's a great example that you brought up. I feel like we kind of sense that from people when they meet us, or they realize that we're the owners and we're the ones that are created this company. I would never say it's like racist. It's just like, people are like not used to this, and like, they're used to having these stereotypical like, oh, this guy's from Brooklyn, or he's like, flew over from Italy, and he's a chef and everything. And we're just because we're underdogs. We're just
And they make it how they do it back in Italy or back in New York.
exactly. Yeah. So
Okay.
they must know their
Yeah.
pizza. You know?
Cool. Cool.
So yeah,
Cool.
I mean, like,
cool guy.
I would never like I was never like actually I could never be offended by anything that I've experienced before.
Yeah.
It just kind of drives the flame a little bit, you know.
Of course.
It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah, just-
inside you're like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, like they, you know, they feel a certain way, but they're like, damn, these guys are, you know, up to something right now.
Yeah.
And it's very satisfying, especially now after everything we've done, especially after the award when we come back here too, because you know the Expo, same kind of demographic, right? Like you were saying, a lot of older Italian dudes, American Italians, Italians, you know.
Yeah, I think it's getting better, but like, dude, the predominantly like the male-driven white old dude,
Yeah.
is kind of like always like I can just see what I'm talking about in my mind right now of like your typical like Expo goer.
Yep.
But I think that like I really feel like in the last 5 years, like it's shifted.
Yeah.
It's younger.
Yeah.
There is still those people, and that's cool. Bald, white, old dudes. I love you. Don't get me wrong. I love you
They
guys.
have a place here,
There's
too,
dudes.
you
You
know?
have a giant population here, dude. But you know, it's nice to see like the pizza. It's like expanding. You know what I mean? And people are doing. The thing that I like is that people are doing things the way they fucking want to do them.
Exactly.
If there's one thing I hate in this community is when somebody says something's supposed to be done a certain way.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
this is gonna be my lead in. You guys cook on screens, don't you?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'll just go right there. Like that is like for the pizza snob,
Yeah.
there's this elitist. I've changed every day. And I've even said shit like, oh fuck, dude, here we go. A screen. I can see the bottom. Like I like would write the pizza off. At this point, I'm getting gray hair and shit. Like, what if it's easy for you? Please put it on. Like, if it's good for training, if you're making good pie,
Exactly, yeah,
whatever you're
yeah.
fucking doing,
Yeah.
please continue to do it. If it works for you, it works for you. But there's still like this kind of culture in this community that like you can't do this, you shouldn't do this. This is the way it's supposed to be done, you know. And so. Let's just talk about screens. You guys ever get shit on? Like you won best cheese with a screen last year, right?
People are blown away when we tell them that sometimes.
Yeah.
And you know, I was very much the same before we had started this. I was right on the stone. You know, get that crispy.
If it ain't coming
bottom.
off a paddle, it ain't pizza.
Yeah, exactly, right? Like you got to have the finesse and you got to be able to do it like a real pizza maker. But opening up the business, especially thinking about, our systems and whatnot and the type of people that we have to hire, we know people are not going to be as passionate about pizza as us. So training that type of stuff is very hard and we just don't want to deal with it. So the screens, thank God we're in, the 2020s where we have technology that is, so much better than what people were working with in the past. With the electric ovens now, you're able to control the bottom heat, you're able to control the top heat, you're able to get it at such, piercing temperatures that can just go right through that screen. So we had figured that if we've got the right equipment, we can still use a screen and still get past the entire bottom bake if we have an oven that's hot enough to go right through that screen.
Yeah.
And it worked for us.
Do you ever take the pizza off the screen at any point to finish it, or does it cook on the screen the whole time?
It pretty much cooks on the screen the entire time.
Do you use just your typical pizza screen, or do you use like special Lloyd ones, or?
No, we've tested out the Lloyd ones.
They're
and
expensive.
They are expensive for sure. And they're a great product, but it didn't create the product that we wanted. So we just stick to our typical original screens.
Dope.
Yeah.
Dope.
Yeah, and they work with us, just season them properly.
Yeah.
A bunch of Seen the Graveyard from, it's not perfect. A lot of times, your dough might stick.
Yeah.
Or if you're handling them a lot and you got them in the oven, you're spinning them around a lot, it can get dented up and not be completely flat. So you got to make sure that the screen is like perfect every time.
Yeah.
Or it's not going to cook consistently.
Yeah. Coming here last year, what was the expectation, and had you already competed?
So it was my third time competing.
Okay.
Unfortunately, we couldn't lock down a competition spot for Justin.
I did the triathlon though.
You did the triathlon.
Came in second last.
Oh, second to last?
Yeah.
Nice, dude. If you ain't second to last, you ain't
let's
first.
go.
No, tough competition out there for that. I was just like, man, you should have practiced a lot more than that.
Well, those fuckers are crazy.
Yeah, I thought it was quick.
That's the juggalos of the pizza industry. You know? It's family, dog. Woo! Like
it runs with the family. No, we so it had been. We brought Ali, Justin, and our content guy JV, and it was all three of their first time in Vegas and in the Expo, obviously. And it been my third time competing, but we didn't really expect. I don't know, like, what would you say?
We just came here to have a good time.
Yeah.
You know, we're confident in our abilities. We don't want to take things too seriously. We don't want to not take things seriously at all. We obviously had a mission, but we came here to, you know, just be in Vegas.
Yeah.
You know, we stayed at the Strip. We did the whole Strip thing. Did the casino thing. Drank a bit. Shake Shack.
you did it. You did it right.
Yeah, man.
You did it right.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. This time it's our first time competing, both of us at the in Vegas. So that'll be fun. Took it a little bit more seriously. Like spent some time out here to make the dough.
Mm-hmm.
We weren't really happy with how the dough flew out. Last year, and then times before that too. It's just like keeping the dough on ice. The temperature's constantly changing. Our pizza never really came out the way we ever wanted it. Like we really, really wanted it to. So we're taking a shot this way.
Still won.
You know, still won. Yeah. No, we're just trying to take it a different angle and see if this is like the way that we want to do it in the future and whatnot. So
Is it sourdough?
Yeah. We use a
Sourdough
starter.
adjacent?
Yeah,
You got
yeah.
starter and yeast?
Yeah.
yes. Yeah.
Good way to do it. And so you hand mixed the whole thing 2 days ago?
Yeah.
Yes.
What is your locked in like fermentation day to like bake on?
About 72 hours.
72 hours?
Yeah.
Nice. So when you win best cheese, because I was fucking confused because years before competing, it was just like you get number one. You're number one now, and that was it. But you had to cook twice, didn't you?
Yeah.
That's only in best cheese?
No, that's all in all the
categories?
competitions. Yeah. So whoever places top 5 after the first like prelim day, essentially like tomorrow and the next day, if you place top 5, you're invited back on Thursday to go head to head with the 5 people that place the top in that category.
Yeah.
And then whoever wins that round essentially will win that category, as well as go on to do like the best of best, which is like a mystery
basket
ingredient competition. So that was a lot of fun.
You did best of the best too.
Yeah. No, very nervous, and you know, like it was just one of those moments where it's like we're so excited when we first won, and like within minutes they're like, hey, like, by the way, in about an hour and a half, you're gonna make another pizza, and we were just like still just like on this high, and had to prepare to make this mystery item pizza, which ended up being not as good as I wanted it to be, but I mean we're thrilled anyway to had gone that far. So.
What was the secret ingredient?
Oh fuck! It was the most.
They're like poutine.
Imagine. No, it was so it was sponsored by, who was it sponsored by?
Was it Galbani?
Galbani, yeah. It was the Galbani fresh mozzarella.
That was the secret ingredient.
That was the secret ingredient. I mean, like I guess it made it easy.
Damn, Galbani's thirsty, dude.
But like
they're fucking thirsty to get in that competition.
Yeah.
Use our fresh mozz, please.
Yeah.
No one
literally.
used any of it in the fridge.
Yeah. Just trying to get rid of it.
Yeah. They're like, yo, listen, the grande's gone. What's the secret ingredient? Well, we got a shit ton of Galbani.
Yeah. Maybe the market wasn't so good on that product last year. So
shout out Galbani. Yeah. Sick. Well, what'd you place in that?
I'm not even sure, to be honest. We don't. Yeah, we're not even sure. We just kind of not first.
Yeah, dude, I'd be buzzing after like I don't even. I'd be like, dude, best of the best, cool. We just got fucking first. Like, God, that's like 4 times competing.
Yeah, honestly, like it was not something. Again, like we weren't really expecting to really cap that win, and it's surreal. It's still surreal. Like we're still experiencing the like how busy it got us.
Yeah,
not as crazy as when we peaked last year. I think we peaked in like August, like that summer, and then like September it slowed down a little bit. The holidays were the holidays, and then now it's like we're still way up than we were last year before the award. So
I've been using Karen Spring flour for years now. It's been a complete game changer. It comes from an incredible mill in Washington State where they stone mill regeneratively grown grains into some of the most flavorful flour I've ever worked with. They stone mill everything, which means enhanced flavors, preserved nutrients, and embraces a more traditional, sustainable way of doing things. You can feel it the second you open the bag. It's not your average flour. It has color. Do you ever look at a white dough ball? A white dough ball makes no sense. Grain is not white. Open up a bag of Karen Springs and take a look at Mother Earth. Karen Spring operates a social purpose corporation. Legally, they're prioritizing impact over profit. That's pretty powerful. Whether it's your main flour or you want to just blend it, using Karen Springs is going to introduce new flavors you've never tasted before. It helps reshape the food system one bake at a time. We choose Karen Springs because we believe that great ingredients are not just a tagline, it's a commitment. And yes, it does cost more, but like anything worth doing, you get what you pay for. Our dough program is the foundation of what we sell. It's my calling card, and it starts with great grain. Be part of something better. Really use the best ingredients. Karen Springs isn't just flour. It's a belief in the makers, the millers, and the movement. Use code PIE2PIE for 15% off your first order at karenspring.com.
Well, you guys must have a pretty sick team if I saw both of you in August.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Like you both were hanging out with me out there in Modesto, drinking with Steve. Steve doesn't drink, but I mean, has it been tough? Like, has there been a turnaround? Do you have a great team? Is there like people, do you get days off? Are you there every day? Like, how's it work?
All of that. I mean, there's turnaround. We have a solid team. We are there doing, work in the kitchen and whatnot. We're trying to get to a point where we're not there as much anymore. I'm not there as much anymore. Andy's been operating the restaurant a lot more than I have. I've been traveling. We're doing some stuff out in like Asia and whatnot.
I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah.
Is that on the hush hush or?
We can talk about it a little bit.
All
yeah.
right.
But our team is solid, and we've tried to build a business with systems that aren't overly complicated and give our team the ability to really understand what we want and what to do. It's not 100% perfect still, but it's good enough for us to be able to leave pretty much whenever we want.
Yeah.
As long as, things are prepared enough.
Yeah.
Being remote, still being able to watch the cameras from anywhere in the world, still being able to talk to people that we need to talk to, obviously is beneficial. I think that it's been tough for us to be able to step away from the business, but looking at it from the outside in, when you think about the bigger picture, it's necessary in order to scale.
Yeah, no, most definitely. It's just, sometimes it's not that easy, even with like the greatest policy, the airtight stuff to find great people,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just try to keep it as simple as possible.
Yeah, 100%.
Honestly.
How many pizzas do you have on the menu?
We started off with 8 pizzas and we added 3. So total, we got about 11, and they're mostly classics. So we've got, your cheese, your pepperoni, your marg. We got the Canadian, the Hawaiian, Supreme. And then we've got some, we like to call them chef inspired pizzas. Something that's a little bit more creative. You won't find anywhere else. The GG, the one up in the COWABUNGA.
Do those specialty pies sell, or is pepperoni paying the bills?
The pepperoni is definitely the star of the show.
Yeah.
I think that's, I think that every pizzeria in the world could probably say that for the most part.
Yeah.
Like classic, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The COWABUNGA, it's a very creative pizza. There's a lot that goes on it. It's a little bit tough to finish. It's got fried chicken on it. It's a seller for sure, but it's not the most popular one that's there. It's it's not very pizza-esque, to be honest. And to be honest, that's totally fine with us. It's got a decent margin on there. It is our signature pizza. It's very wacky and creative and whatnot. But if we were to have that as our number one pizza, it would be such a headache to do all the time.
Yeah.
We don't enter competitions with pizzas like that, just because we know if it places anywhere, near the top, people are going to start ordering
fucked.
it a lot. And
I was just talking to, D-Town, Ryan from D-Town Pizza.
Okay.
And he won He won with like a fucking Wagyu, like fucking Detroit with like gold on it, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, he has it in his shop.
True.
It's like $105.
I wonder how many people ordering
fucking,
that.
Dude, I've seen people like influencers get it, but like
Yeah.
you're just disappointed because it's $100 fucking. If a
wild.
pizza,
Yeah.
I want that pizza to pay me.
Yeah.
If I fucking spend $100 on a pizza, like
That's crazy.
I want the resale value. I'm gonna sell this on goat.
You
Like,
gotta win the world's best cheese slice, brother.
what I'm
that
saying. That's
like
a smart move,
great
though.
margins
That's
on
a smart move
Yeah.
because the minute that happens, I want your number one pizza, the one that's most labor intensive
Yeah.
and the hardest
Yeah.
to train.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, no, winning with the cheese is like the least labor intensive.
Clutch.
Yeah.
So easy to make.
Margin's nice.
Yeah, the margins are nice.
Also, the
Like,
hardest thing to do, I argue, like somebody saying you have the best cheese. You're so limited in ingredients, so everything is technique and execution.
Yes.
So everyone is basically using Grande, Stanislaus, or DiNapoli, similar flours.
Yep.
So it's all about bake time,
Yeah.
technique, and what's going in. And I think that, like, to me, that's exactly what I think great pizza is I don't give a shit if you're like, we use the best ingredients. Like,
How
you
do
know
you
what
use
I
them?
mean?
Yeah.
Like, everyone says that.
It's like your shoes. You know,
Yeah,
it doesn't
exactly.
matter what kind of
yeah,
shoes you're wearing.
everyone wears Dunks.
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
what I mean? Like, everyone wears Vans, but
Yeah.
it's like, what kind of jeans you wearing? You know what I'm saying? Like, but no, that I don't know if that tracks, but but
How you wearing those jeans?
yeah, but how you wearing the
How are
jeans? You
you
know,
wearing
like,
them?
are they skinny jeans?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, yo, dude, it ain't the early 2000s.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
we're on baggy shit now.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
yeah.
saying? But technique, bake time, all those things. So it's like the hardest thing to execute. And so, like, I feel like it's
That's
like,
where the art is.
that's like the
right?
holy grail too.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it was like, wasn't it the second year that they
It's
had
the
done-
first year.
It was the
Yeah,
first year
first
they
year.
did best cheese.
Yeah.
Because it had only been in Atlantic City. They did it once out
Right,
there.
yeah.
Rest in peace, Atlantic City, dude. They ain't going back there. It's Columbus, Ohio
Columbus,
now, baby.
Ohio next
I'm
year.
not going to that. But that's closer to you guys, right?
That is.
Yeah.
You'll probably go compete again, right?
If time is
Columbus,
right,
yeah,
you know, if time is right.
The nighttime is the right time.
Always the right time.
Yeah.
No, it's just like depending on if we have the time, and obviously we've always wanted to bring a little crew out here, like from our shop.
Yeah.
But stars haven't aligned enough. Like we would have liked to do it this year, but you know we needed our resources at the restaurant.
Yeah.
So it was just this is a team that we were able to bring out.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Columbus could be a move. We want to go to Italy again.
Yeah.
Damn,
Yeah,
yeah, that's
Italy,
right. You guys
yeah,
did
that was a good
Caputo
time.
Cup was good.
Yeah.
Fun time.
That's in summer,
Yeah.
right?
In
Is it
Naples.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the
Was it
summer,
Yeah.
yeah.
April or May?
I think it was
April or May.
How is Naples? Sick?
Sick.
You haven't been, eh?
No.
Naples is a good time. It's not for I would say that it's not for the rookie traveler. It's a little intimidating coming in there, just being an English only speaker. I've heard stories of people that, you know, have like gotten robbed.
Yeah, I mean, like I heard it's like
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
a little dangerous.
Yeah, I've heard that as well. But
I live in Los Angeles, so there's a brand new homeless dude that just moved in outside of Hot Tongue, and he does not look friendly. So.
okay.
Naples.
We were fine out there though. I mean, you know, just like anywhere in the world, as long as you're just moving proper, you know, and you're not too loud, you're not obnoxious or anything like that, you're fine.
How's your Italian?
My Italian, we got
This is part of the
by.
mine.
Yeah, Google Translate.
Really?
Yeah,
That works?
Yeah, it works.
ChatGPT.
Yeah. ChatGPT, Google Translate.
Translate
Yeah.
this.
Make it casual.
Are you going? Make this kind of funny. Can you make a little humor and
Make
sexy?
it sound like I'm
Yeah.
not from here.
Yeah. Are you going to do Caputo Cup? I mean, you got to be planning that by now.
I haven't planned it, but we want to go.
Okay.
Yeah. Next year, Italy. You're saying the Winter Olympics are?
Yeah. No, my friends and I are planning on going to the Olympics next year.
Tight.
So I don't think it lands on it, but that'd be pretty sick if we did like a little
Because there's a
collection.
couple. There's a winter competition too in Palermo. Like, no, I forget where it is, but there's one in like January too.
Parma.
That's it. Yeah. White sauce. Okay. White sauce
Okay.
and ranch. A garlic white sauce. This is something that's Canadian, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
And do you guys have it?
Oh yeah.
You have a white sauce, right? It's like
It's-
a garlic.
it's a
What's it
dipping
called?
sauce.
A dipping sauce.
Yeah,
That's
it's a
what it's
dipping
called.
sauce,
It's
yeah.
called dipping sauce.
Yeah.
Okay. That's.
I'm surprised it's not in
you
America.
just call it
It's-
dipping
yeah.
sauce.
Oh yeah.
And it's
yeah.
a white sauce
Yep.
with garlic in it.
Yep.
I have a customer from Canada.
Yeah.
He fucking drives through just to buy your dipping sauce, freezes it, and comes back to LA.
Shut the fuck up.
Dead ass serious. I should have taken a picture.
man.
He fucking brought me some of it like a week ago. And I'm gonna be like, yo, I'm gonna fucking tell these fools. He freezes this shit. He just has a bunch of ramekins in his fucking.
Dude, that's crazy.
And he says he hates ranch, but I tasted it. I was like, this is good, but this is very ranchy. Like it's like there's no dill. It's white. There's garlic. I liked it. It like didn't have it didn't take so much away from the pizza. It kind of just gave me that creamy like hit without like so much of the tang. Which I can see like for pizza being better than ranch. But I just thought that I had to share that story. It was just fucking
Dude,
like
unreal.
He's like, yo, dude, they got the most fire dipping sauce. I was like, it's just called dipping sauce. That's why I didn't even know what to call it, because I was like, it can't be just called dipping sauce. Like that's
it really is actually. It totally is.
Anything could be dipping sauce.
Yeah. No, it's funny. When we designed those recipes, the garlic was like the house dip.
Yeah.
And then we also have a jalapeno ranch, which as the ranch base that we make for it.
Yeah.
They all take the same ratio of sour cream and mayo, which we buy from the store. So that might be like the closest similarity to ranch in it that you're thinking of. But on top of that base, the garlic sauce. Sorry, garlic dip. You're throwing me off by calling it sauce.
Dude, I'm sorry.
White sauce.
It's dipping sauce.
By the way, it sounded like you were talking about shawarma, like white sauce on shawarma. But anyway, so the garlic dip actually has a shit ton of
white sauce, buddy.
Yeah. The garlic dip actually has a shit ton of brown butter that we put in there.
Yeah.
So we're trying to mimic. Do they have pizza? They don't have pizza out here, eh?
No, there's no pizza.
No, that's funny. Yeah, there's a brand called
They don't-
Pizza.
They don't do dipping sauce and like Domino's even.
Dude,
Like
it's
Papa
like
John's?
it's called like garlic butter or like it's called ranch or marinara. Like the shit has a name.
Yeah.
Like you could literally a condiment is any dipping sauce. Be like, yo, hand me the dipping
ketchup,
sauce, and
like,
it'd be like, all right, well, the only thing in the fridge is ketchup, so he wants ketchup. You know, like you a dipping sauce is anything you can dip something in. You know what I mean? Like,
that's so
give me
funny.
a dipping sauce, give me the mustard. That's what I'm gonna put my corn dog in. But like, I remember him being like, if you haven't had dipping sauce, it's like this white garlic thing. It's not ranch. And I was like, and then he told me that he like fucking cops it every time he goes out there. Shout out to Alessandro, dude. The guy comes in and gets bar pies and fucking pan pizzas and fucking put me up on the dipping sauce.
Oh, dude,
from COWABUNGA.
You got to get on the dipping sauce.
Dude,
game,
no
man.
doubt. I was like, dude,
it's a great addition.
Can
and
we reverse engineer this and just put this on the menu?
It's a good addition.
Yeah.
Honestly, it enhances the flavor and it's a great add-on. You know, it increases your customer's average spend. Not a huge amount, but the margins are great. And, you know, if you can get everybody to add a dipping sauce onto that pie.
Dude,
Slice.
I was just
Or a
where them.
slice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
dude, that's
dude.
money. I was just talking about, we
money.
did like $12K in ranch last year.
Damn,
Dude.
for
Just
you,
sides of ranch.
Yeah.
Well, it's $250 for a side of fucking ranch.
Yeah.
You know, People are just, there's ranch fiends.
Yeah, dude, there are people that are
I'm
like,
a ranch
can I
fiend.
get
It's like, I'm gonna need 4 ounces for 2 slices, my boy.
Exactly.
Like, it's 2 ounces per slice.
Do you find it as crazy as I do that we put the best ingredients in our pizza, our dough, our cheese, toppings, fresh produce, and then we put pencil shavings on our tables called red chili flakes? What is a red chili flake? We found out about Flatiron premium pepper flakes from a customer who actually brought us some. We were putting it on every slice we ate. It was gold. We were like searching for it like addicts in the back, just like, ooh, where's the Flatiron? Where's the Flatiron? There is no going back. When you pop these peppers, you are gonna know. You can smell it, you can feel it, you can taste it. The 4-pepper blend, which is actually the blend we have on every table at Hot Tongue, definitely has a higher heat level, and I'm a heat guy, if you know what I'm saying. It has the arbol, the jalapeno, the ghost, and the habanero. Spicy. They are liberating pizzerias from low quality pepper flakes. Flatiron pepper, you are going to know the difference. In here, real peppers from Italy. Let's go. Head to flatironpepper.com right now. Use the code pie to pie at checkout. That's pie, number 2, pie at checkout. And any order over $25 is going to get you a bottle free of the sweet heat. Put that sweet heat in your cart, and any order over $25, that baby's gonna be free. Do not miss this chance to upgrade your pepper game. Head to flatironpepper.com right now and join the Pepper Flake revolution.
Yeah. No, do you find people out there like hate on dip more, or do they like it more? Because I find in Canada especially, like people are a lot more like open to dip. You know, like people prefer it actually. Whereas like in New York, you know, there's a lot of
sacrilegious.
people. Yeah, exactly. It's sacrilegious.
On the
You
West
walk into
Coast,
a
dude, we be
Prince Street.
dipping. We be sipping and dipping. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna slurp that ranch, dude. But it's I mean, I was raised. Everyone was putting Hidden Valley up on their Costco slice, dude.
Shout out Hidden Valley.
Shout out, dude. I was raised in the Hidden Valley. You know what I'm saying? But no, that's another like stupid trope that like I just. Or like marketing tool where it's like, I'll never put ranch on my pizza. It's like, shut the fuck up, dude.
Yeah. We're too pretentious here for ranch.
Yeah.
Actually.
We use dipping sauce.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd be like,
what's a ranch?
What the fuck? Dude, I might just keep the ranch and call it dipping sauce. Like people would it would blow their mind.
Yeah, man. Just market it differently. Maybe enhance your
Rip
sales
it and dip
even more.
it. Hot tongue.
Yeah.
Well, that story was crazy. And I thought he was joking, but literally came back the next day with your dipping sauce. So
That's unreal.
bomb.
Shout out.
Unreal.
Bomb. I was like, next time you're there, just freeze me some pizza and bring it back. The amount of time that you have put into, well, one, these shirts that you fucking made are sick as fuck.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. These are
Appreciate
very tight. And a lot of the stuff you do on socials, your branding, all of it's like very tight. But specifically like the media that's one that we're being shot, you know, I came down, you guys, you're already mic'd up, dude. Like you guys are ready to go. And like just the production of the stuff when you were out in Italy, but last year, especially, I like remember watching that on Instagram and I'm like getting goosebumps thinking about it just cause it was like the whole thing's so well done. Plus was it Runaway? Kanye? What was the song?
Carnival.
Carnival.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So even better.
Yeah.
But like, dude, the whole thing was just like, fuck.
It was like a movie.
Yes. I was like, dude, give me the 2.5 hour version of this.
Yeah.
But like having that intention and spending that time and money on that stuff, like, have you always done that? Is that like, does it help the brand? Like,
yeah, I mean, ever since we first started, we've definitely put money into marketing, whether it's, you know, paying for influencers to come do contests with us or paying for people to do some, you know, professional production so that it, you know, looks like a professional product that we're putting out there. It has definitely paid off for us. If, you know, we didn't have the video that, you know, we paid for, we had a content guy on payroll, essentially, working, you know, on salary and whatnot. And if we didn't have that there, even though we had won, it wouldn't have had the same effect as if we, you know, when we did drop the video.
yeah.
A lot of people saw it and, you know, the numbers for it are crazy and we don't even post that much right now. The whole thing is like, we're really busy right now. And it's been a year since we've won the award and we're still pretty poppin'. January and February, we did some really good numbers as well. So we don't feel the need right now to do a lot of posting, which is why we've put that a bit on the back burner. But yeah, it's very important, you know, not necessarily to like straight out hire professionals to do all of the work for you, because a lot of times people will do that and then they just end up with like photo shoots that look like they're supposed to be for like a magazine that you're probably never going to read. We like doing a lot of things that are not necessarily trendy, but realistic. You know, like watch us compete or just like, you know.
Yeah, but there's a difference between like a reel and like a fucking 2.5 minute movie.
Yeah,
which is like what you guys made, and like just having somebody with the eye to like from like the minute that you guys are like when the fucking beat drops to like when you guys win the award and like the overhead shots of Vegas. Did you have a drone?
No, you just purchase that footage.
Nice, dude.
Stock, yeah.
That's some
image,
good ass shit.
Yeah, man.
But I mean, like that kind of stuff really adds to the whole vibe.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. And you know, to be able to think of just using some stock imagery that somebody else has shot for these types of purposes, because We didn't have a drone. We were thinking of flying one of the helicopters with the award after we had won, but it was a little too last minute.
So sick.
Yeah.
You're in a copter fucking with the fucking big ass check.
Yeah. Whoa. If we were this year, we're gonna go all out for the.
God,
that.
that's sick. Or you like go indoor skydiving with the check.
Yeah.
Just fucking, damn, dude.
Let's go.
Fuck. That's tight.
Yeah, we came. It's so funny. We actually came back, and the following Monday that we had got back from the Expo, we had another competition to go to in Toronto, and we won 3rd place in that one, and we got a huge check for it. Not as much money, but like the award for the cheese and like the 1st place was just so big that it drowned out everything that happened at the RC show, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How is the pizza scene in Toronto? In surrounding areas.
Yeah, it's good. There's a lot of competition out there. We think a lot about opening out there, just to like be able to compete with everybody. It's a good scene. It's developing very well. There's a lot of popular places out there. Descendant Detroit Style is out here. They won at the RC show. They make a solid Detroit style pizza. Shout outs to Batty Alley, Maker Pizza, huge inspiration to us.
Oh yeah, Maker.
Yeah.
Is that celebrity owned?
Matty Matheson.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it
Yeah.
his place, or is he kind of just like Nancy Silverton,
Yeah, I
kind of
think
like
he's
a
got
face
some
on
I
the
think a
bar?
little
I
bit
don't
of
know.
both. I think he like was the main like recipe guy, like when they created the menu. But I think he's just like a part owner now. He has a lot of projects he's got
That's
his hands
tight.
dipped into that are like not just pizza whatsoever.
Yeah.
So like pizza, he's not like a pizza guy like we are.
Yeah.
He's got a Vietnamese spot.
Yeah, he's got a Vietnamese
Sick.
spot,
Just
taco,
diversify.
Yeah, everything. But yeah, no, like to answer your question about like how's pizza in Toronto, like Toronto like has had a pizza scene probably like over a decade ago for sure. And like and by a pizza scene I mean like I don't know, like kind of like modern hype kind of, you know, new age good pizza in my opinion, rather than like, oh, we've been doing this for 50 to 100 years. Toronto's been in it for a little while, but Hamilton, like the actual city that we're from, within the GTA, we only started getting popping with pizza spots like recently. So it's like a very interesting time right now because there's not that many spots that people are talking about, but you know there is now. Like, but 5 years ago before we were here, there was like a few. Like you can even name them off in one hand. That being said, there was a lot of pizza and people love eating pizza there, but it's all the local spots that are run by like mom and pa's and like are like 2-for-1s and, you know, like large pizza for 2-topping pizza for $10 kind of thing. So
Yeah.
that kind of made us opening COWABUNGA a little bit more difficult in the sense that like our demographic, typically they're used to
The 2-for-1 crowd.
Yeah.
exactly. And like what Justin said about our time slots, like everybody's used to us, like people just giving like, oh, it'll be ready in half an hour rather than a time slot. So we opened COWABUNGA during a time where, you know, there's a few other shops that were also doing something like we're doing, where it's like more elevated products and we really put care and love into the products. So we're starting to see a lot more people within Hamilton or within the area that are becoming like pizza snobs, essentially, you know,
Yeah.
pizza connoisseurs.
Great, we need more of those.
Yeah, exactly. And I find it hilarious because like it feels like people are starting to, you know, like whether or not they like traveled outside of Hamilton for pizza, but people love flaunting the fact like, oh, like I've been in New York, I've had, you know, good pizza before, and like it always feels nice when they're like, oh, your pizza's way better than everything I've had in New York. But it's funny to me because like the people in Hamilton are starting to become starting to realize what good pizza is and talking like they're
Like they really know.
Exactly. Like, you know, you see them ripping open the crust and smelling it, looking at the bottom and like, you know, folding it and everything.
They're
and,
all
you know.
fucking probably watching One Bite reviews. Dude.
Exactly. Yeah. It's nice to see though, because like just because in our city, you know, like the food scene is trailing behind Toronto quite a bit, and it's nice to be a part of this movement, this, you know, culture that like is, you know, rising within Hamilton.
Well, it's nice because like going into a market like that, obviously at the beginning of things, there's like an education thing that's kind of like put on you if you're the only person in the neighborhood doing like the elevated slice, and which is going to be shitty at the front end of it. But like really, you like going into a market like that is perfect because once people realize kind of like what good pizza is. You know, not to shit on anything, but there's a difference between like good pizza and like, oh man, that's a great product.
Yeah.
And so being able to kind of sit there before anyone else, like, you know, and then once you do that, that's when other people come along. Right.
Yeah.
And then
Try to replicate
try to replicate it or kind of do it in a different way. And now Hamilton has 3 or 4 different spots that are like considered like good pizza.
I feel like
I like Cowabunga's good, but I like the square over here at Johnny's.
Yeah.
The guy's from Brooklyn. He's from Brooklyn. So come on, you know what I'm saying? Tastes like Nona's recipe.
It's like, dude, what are you talking about?
Yeah, and a lot of places will open up now, and I think a lot of people see the success in the pizza scene and really want to get in on that action. And I think some people think that it's a lot easier than it actually is.
Of course.
And they think that they're just going to come out with some pizzas with some cup and char pepperonis on them, slap a little hot honey on that menu, and call it a day.
A little burrata, maybe.
Yeah, you know, it's like, well,
take a shot from overhead. Be like, I haven't seen this before. This is fucking gold, dude. Wow, we're gonna call this the hot pepperoni.
It's not easy though,
dude.
It's not easy. Yeah,
it ain't easy. But you know, I hope everyone out there making that slice, I'm not shitting on it.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
But it's not.
Yeah, but
it's not easy.
Not easy.
It's about technique, like everything we were kind of talking about with the cheese
exactly.
slice.
Since 2021, I've had the privilege of consulting on projects across the country, helping operators fine-tune their dough, systems, and everything in between. I take it seriously because I know what it's like to build something from scratch. It can be terrible and lonely. Plenty of folks reach out just to talk shop, and I'm always down to share what I know. But if you're ready to take things to the next level, the next step of improving or launching your business, I offer a full menu of consulting services from dough doctoring to dialing in your systems, policies, and workflow. So head over to alexkoons.com to get in touch. Let's build something together. Better pizza for everyone.
Who won the battle between Drake and Kendrick?
Fuck.
Let's be honest, dude.
I didn't know we were gonna get political already. Oh shit!
Yeah, I'm a big Drake fan.
Dude.
I like Drake's music.
Yes.
Straight up.
Dude, Nokia is the song. I told Matt
Nokia's
Nokia is
good.
the song of Vegas for me this year.
Okay.
Baby girl.
Let me see you do your
That
dance.
thing-
Let me see you twirl.
Put it on the gram. Dude, fucking yes. Is it, what is it? Is it party? Dude, that like the fucking, is it baby? Is it party? It's like the production on it, I almost think is like supposed to kind of sound a little shitty.
Yeah.
But I'm a big Drake fan too.
I don't take things personal with anybody. You know, I'm a fan of talent and I'm a fan of good content.
Yes.
And just a good product. And I think they both came out with bangers. And
Yeah.
you know, it's fuck.
But we're gonna give it to the six God.
I ain't giving it to nobody.
Okay.
I'm enjoying everything.
Nice.
Yeah,
It's entertaining.
Yeah, it's
if
entertaining.
anything.
Yeah. It's not that deep to me.
Don't deep it.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's just music. Do you have a response? You can stay away from this one.
I think I'm gonna stay away from this one, mostly because I don't. It's not that I don't like them, but I don't love either of them.
Yeah.
You know
okay.
what I mean?
All right. Respect.
Like low key, I'll make a decision with like Kanye. Like if you ask me about Kanye, I'll make a decision. But
Okay.
if that's allowed.
Are you over Kanye? Are you not buying? Did you listen to Bully on YouTube?
I haven't.
He dropped it on Wednesday.
Oh no way.
Now that I follow that guy.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean the art, like it's very hard for me to connect the art with the person. I know sometimes things get rough with the person.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like the art has a really close place in my heart.
Yeah.
For me. So I'm like, whenever I hear it, it's just I can't think of the fact like, oh, fuck this guy.
Put it
yeah.
this way: if there's somebody out there that we really hated for whatever reason, but they made like the sickest pizza ever, I'm still lining up all day for that pizza.
Yeah, you're still gonna eat the pizza.
I'm still eating the pizza. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I mean, like, dude, Michael Jackson like stared and touched buttholes, but this dude is like straight, like on the radio and still revered as like a god. Like he's like got statues up in Vegas. Like this dude touched kids. Like that's a fucking like one of the worst offenses in the world. But like, hey, touching a kid, we can look past it. I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, yeah. I
Like,
mean,
that's fucking crazy shit.
Hey man, we consume a lot of things in this world, and we don't know what the people that created these things that we all have do in their personal time.
You're right about that, and that's like, I guess, like, is it even really my business? It's like the thing. I didn't know these. I don't know these people personally.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
You know what I do know?
This microphone could be fucking worse.
Yes.
We don't know.
Yeah.
You know, so
You're
I try not to
100%
think about those things or give a fuck about
I think,
them.
and that yes. Well, it's interesting because it's like, really, you shouldn't. There's too many better things to worry about. But how easy, dude. I brought up the beef because obviously it's just funny, but like at the same time, people like they get swept away about stuff like this.
Of course, yeah.
Whether it's this rap battle, some Yelp reviews, like whatever's coming at you, you know, you decide to take it deeper than it needs to go. You know, even
of course.
news, or like stuff that's going on. It's like, how much do you want this to matter to you?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I think that really ties back into being a business owner, because a lot of things happen that really just fucks with our emotions, make us mad, make us happy. And, you know, a lot of times our emotions influence our decisions, but we really got to detach ourselves from whatever the hell's going on out there and do things for the greater good.
Yeah. Yeah. No doubt. Well said.
Yeah, honestly, like I think ever since we started this too, like I definitely have way better of an idea of like making decisions without the emotions, and it's kind of the reason why I have less of an opinion on like the rap dramas and stuff like that. You know. Yeah.
I think like having less of an opinion on anything is probably good.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, did you hear about this? It's like, yeah, it's crazy. You know, and like that's it. That's wild, dude. You know, or like, oh, did you see this? It's like, sometimes my wife tries to talk to me about things, and then she instantly regrets trying to talk to me about it. I'm like, yeah, that's crazy. She's like, did you see Justin Bieber outside of like blah blah blah? He's not okay. Did you see this video? I was like, he doesn't look okay, but none of my business. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's
Are you guys Bieber fans? Also, I brought up Bieber because he's Canadian.
Yeah. I mean,
I like Bieber.
I like Bieber.
I love Justin Bieber. Three of my favorite artists, Canadian. Drizzy.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
Mac DeMarco.
Okay.
Justin Bieber.
Yeah. Let's go.
And then one of the funniest people and craziest people that I love too is Jim Carrey.
Yeah. Jim Carrey, shout outs. He's from Burlington. That's a city like right across the lake from us.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Super close.
Yeah. Well, fucking shout out Canada, dude.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Canada. I don't know what comes after that.
Home and native land.
We just finished the whole fucking thing, dude. That would be
It's not that long. It's not that long.
That'd be sick. All right. So can you tell me what's going on in Asia?
We're looking to open up a spot out in Thailand.
Like a Cowabunga?
In Bangkok. Yeah, Cowabunga.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah, I mean, we
How
want to
does that even
expand
work?
within
Like a
Canada as
licensing
well.
job, or
What's that?
would it be a licensing like?
Yeah, so what happens is you have to, as our Canadian company, set up a holding company in either Hong Kong or in Singapore. The reason why is because those countries have stronger licensing laws and copyright laws. And that company opens up a business in Thailand. That company owns all the licenses to the recipes, menu, branding, and everything like that. And it gives us the ability to be able to open out more global locations.
Like, I saw you were just out there. So are you like looking at locations? Are you talking to people? Like, what's like?
So
how do you make that jump? That shit sounds crazy.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's halfway around the world. A lot of people, when I tell them, they're just like looking at me crazy.
Again,
you know what I mean?
good. The crazier people are looking at you, in my opinion, it's
exactly.
like, I'm onto something.
I mean, we do want to open more spots out in Canada, but looking at the long-term picture of things, being from Southeast Asia as well, Andy's parents from Vietnam, my parents are from the Philippines, and looking at, the cost of living in, North America is getting very tough. So we want to take a big look at that bigger picture and see where we want to situate ourselves within the next 10 years. Mm-hmm. Obviously, taxes are super high as well over here. And when you look at a place like Thailand and Bangkok, it's got, specifically Bangkok, in my opinion, has the perfect amount of tourism. It's got the perfect amount of, developed infrastructure that is crazier than a lot of places in Canada and America as well. Being out there reminds me of like a bit more of like a New York, Toronto. Some parts are a little bit more futuristic, and it's a vibe out there.
Yeah.
Shout outs to my brother Clint. He's the one that brought me out there and told me about, some opportunities and introduced me to some people out there that were in real estate and other industries and whatnot. I went out there a few months ago. I saw the opportunity, and I think it's a play. The place that we're looking at right now that we're going to be opening up in is in Chinatown in Bangkok.
This is happening.
It is going to happen. Yeah, this is happening.
Dude.
It's in Bangkok. It's in Chinatown. It's right off of, it's on Yaowarat Road. So Yaowarat Road is it's a street food scene. So it's got like Dundas, like Times Square vibes. Everybody that goes there is, for the most part, tourists, and you see the look in their eyes. It's like they're seeing the Las Vegas Strip for the first time. It's like they're in Fremont for the first time, seeing how crazy it is out there. And people are specifically going for food. So I think we're situated in a really good place. The cost to operate out there is much more feasible than it is to operate out here. Some of the challenges are sourcing the right ingredients and whatnot, but like we got a pizza master out there.
Yeah.
Things are good out there. And I think that the opportunity is great. I think it's a different thing that we're approaching than most people are trying to approach in the pizza game.
Yeah.
It's a little bit risky, obviously. We're going halfway across the world, but
What's out there right now? Like pizza wise in Bangkok, is there like
pizza wise? They opened a Roberta's out there.
Yeah.
I never got to check it out, but there's a Roberta's out there. There's a place out there called Soho Pizza.
Yeah.
They make an American style pizza. I'm pretty sure Anthony Falco consulted them.
Probably.
And there's a bunch of local places that are out there. Some places are doing New York style. There's a guy out there, Chef Bing. He makes a pretty solid New York style pizza out there. They got like their version of Domino's is out there called like the Pizza Company and whatnot. There's a company out there called Pizza Mania, which I'm very intrigued in because they operate as a delivery only model. They don't do Uber Eats or Skip the Dishes, or their version of it is called Grab. And we operate very similarly. We don't do delivery only, but we don't do deliveries. We operate as takeout only, and we don't work with third-party companies.
Oh my God. You fucking, there's no delivery. It's all, you make all that money with pickup?
Yeah.
All
yeah,
that money with pickup, yeah.
Yo, dude, I'm gonna say it. I'm jealous, dude. That's incredible because then, dude, third party is such a goddamn headache.
Yeah, it's a headache. It's a hassle. It's expensive. It eats right into everything.
And everything's out of your hands once it's given.
Oh, 100%.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
We've never really had to experience that, but everything that you said there were like our like turned us off of it.
Yeah.
But we realized we were also very blessed that we haven't had to like dip into that, right? And as it looks right now, still it's like
tight.
Still don't have space in the oven to be giving.
Then not a concern at all.
Exactly. Yeah. So very blessed.
Yeah, we've always said that if we ever do delivery, it'll be in-house. We'll buy a fleet of scooters, have them branded as Cowabunga, and just do our own thing.
Yeah.
In Asia, most of the transportation out there is on scooters, so on the back of a bike, and it makes it super convenient. It makes it super easy to travel quickly towards places. And if we were to open there, like I said earlier, with Cowabunga Plus, we had learned a lot from doing such a large operation that now we just want to take bits and pieces of Cowabunga Plus and strategize that way into all the new places that we open up in.
Yeah. Damn, dude. And then, so like logistically, you get a spot out there.
Yep.
Maybe there's some kind of build out, and then are you going out there and trying to source everything? Like figure out like do you guys use Caputo Americano? I thought like is that the flour you
we
use?
don't at home. We used it here. Yeah. So we don't use Caputo at home. We do use Ardent Mills at home. Canadian flour
And Saputo?
Yeah. And Saputo. Yeah.
Fuck yeah, that's the Canadian Grande.
Yeah,
is
shout
what
out
I call
Saputo,
it.
man. Yeah. Sourcing out there is a little bit more of a challenge. They don't have Caputo out there. They do have Italian flour. They have Italian tomatoes. I've been lucky enough to network my way into meeting all of the right suppliers, whether it be equipment or whether it be food. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Sick. Man, that is a wild move.
It is.
Have you gone out there and seen the location?
I haven't yet. I've been.
So is a lease signed? Like this is fucking happening.
Yeah.
Ooh, do we have a date? Fuck.
I'm going back out there in July.
That's crazy. And So you're going back out there in July while it gets built.
That's when the build is. So that's when the build is going to be done.
Yeah, that's crazy.
The architects, the interior designers are submitting the final design layout within a month. It's going to take about 45 to 60 days to build everything out. Things are quick out there too. You know, the amount of red tape is a little bit
tight.
It's looser. You know, we can get things done quicker. We can, like in Canada, man, like. Yo, you need like approvals for every little thing. And, you know, you could project to open up your business in 6 months, but then didn't realize that you needed to put up drywall over here. You needed to make this fireproof over there. You needed to get an inspection for this plumber to take a look at this one pipe over here that we wanted to move over. Then the list goes
your
on.
Your urinal's
right?
like 3 centimeters off and needs to be taken off the wall.
You know, so the cost of business, the efficiency of doing business out there, in my opinion, is a lot smoother. We can just get things done quicker.
Yeah. Man, that's awesome.
Thank you.
That's a sick move. Most people are like, yeah, I'm opening up a shop 7 miles away. It's gonna be good.
That's a good move too.
Yeah. How far away are your 2 shops right now in Hamilton?
Less than 7 miles.
Yeah. It's usually how it goes.
We are looking to open up a third spot though, near Hamilton, which is about like a 22-minute drive out there. It's a town called Grimsby that we want to situate ourselves in, and we think that would be a good move as well because it's not too far off from Hamilton. Yeah. We're still able to use our central kitchen to deliver everything over to that location as well, and it would make it, you know, super easy on the production side of things over there.
All right. Well, do you guys want to play one game before we get out of here?
Yeah. What are we playing?
I appreciate you actually. I think I hit up Andy 3 months ago. I do appreciate you taking time. I know your guys' schedule must be busy, so thank you for coming up here.
Thanks for having us.
It's a pleasure.
We've been very excited and looking forward to this.
It's always interesting when you invite somebody up to your hotel. It's good that this podcast, like at least a couple people listen to it, and you can see proof of it online. But
I wasn't sure what was going to happen up here. You know?
You brought a cameraman for a reason.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know about that guy. The game is overrated or underrated.
Okay.
I give you something, a word or something, and you tell me if you think it's overrated or underrated.
I hope this is a controversial one.
Overrated, underrated pizza screens.
Underrated.
Okay.
I mean,
we won the world's best cheese slice with the pizza screen. So
I know, and I saw when you guys got stuck in Los Angeles or in NorCal, you guys went and visited Ben, who's like the other my other favorite badass that proudly uses Pizza Scream. Yeah. Okay, overrated, underrated. Mike's Hot Honey.
Overrated.
Mike has a great brand going on, and I really respect what he's doing out there. But it's pretty easy to make a hot honey.
I mean, it feels like everyone now is making their own.
Everybody and their grandma thinks they make the best hot honey. I feel like
I'll tell you that's overrated. It's like, yo, stick with the mics. You know what I'm saying?
I'm a fan of hot honey for sure.
Yeah,
and I think Mike has a great product. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I'd just rather make my own and just make more money out of it.
Do you make your own hot honey?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's in it?
Honey and hot shit.
It's dry
honey and hot shit, homie.
Ghost pepper flakes.
Dry ghost pepper, a little bit of garlic, a little bit of vinegar.
Yeah, okay, you put vinegar in.
There's not
all the same shit.
Yeah, exactly. There's not much that is going on. There's some people that are doing like fermented peppers in it and stuff like that, but
the thing, it's like people say they want something hot, and then you give them hot honey, and
it's actually hot.
Yeah, and they're like,
imagine that.
It's like, it's hot honey, you fucking idiot. But like, really, Mike's isn't that hot.
Yeah,
It's
I mean,
not
like,
that
I
hot.
get them. Like, it's a sweet, spicy ordeal, right? It shouldn't be spicy.
Yeah,
but yeah, no, we use a really good honey
that's important.
maker out there, Rosewood. Great product. So like, I find regardless of like how hot you want the honey to be, it's gonna, like, our hot honey tastes really good.
Okay.
So you need a very small amount to get that flavor through. So
I'll have to have Alessandro bring me back some hot honey with some of them dipping sauces. Overrated, underrated conveyor belt ovens.
what year is it?
I'm thinking like in the last 10 years.
No, the only reason why I asked that is because like in Hamilton, like a lot of spots use conveyor belt pizza ovens. And I mean, like my opinion, I don't like traditional pizza, but I find it's not very good, you know? And like, I'm not saying that it's impossible to make a good pizza in a conveyor belt oven. Yes. But you know, there's not a lot of people doing it right now.
Yeah.
I think they could be overrated and underrated depending on how you use it, depending on what your operation and strategy is. If we were to, Andy and I talk a lot about opening up a different style of pizzeria that isn't as high quality as Cowabunga, because it's a little hard to scale on a mass level. The amount of finesse, the amount of skill, the amount of knowledge and care that you need to pull off a Cowabunga pizza is just a little bit more than something else that we could create. If we were to do like a mid-tier pizza and really just go for the volume and still have the same branding, still have like the same style of recipes and whatnot, but just do a pizza that isn't as good, I would use a conveyor oven, 100%.
Yeah.
The ease of use, the trainability, the standardization of it is awesome in my opinion.
Yeah, I saw somebody run one with like 2 people that they were doing the volume that would take me 6 people. It was fucking crazy.
If that's what you're going for, volume, underrated.
Yeah.
If you're trying to make the best pizza in the world, overrated.
It's all how you use it is what they say.
Yeah.
It's not the size of the ship, but the skill of the sailor. That's what they say. All right. Overrated, underrated. What?
Nothing.
I know it's coming.
You guys telling secrets?
I know it's coming. What is it?
Wait, do you guys call your pizza New York style pizza?
No.
What do you call it?
When people ask, I just tell them it's like an American style pizza, Neapolitan
What the
kind
fuck?
of a combination.
Why don't you just say it's like Canadian style? What's a Canadian style?
I don't even know what a Canadian style
McDonald's
pizza is.
pizza?
Yeah.
That's the only time I only say that. That was not an insult. I fucking my mom's Canadian. I love Canada, but that was the only time I ever had a pizza, and I went to Canada in Vancouver, BC.
Yeah. Okay.
And I was like, this McDonald's has fucking pizza, dude.
How was it?
Dude, it was fire. Dude. Everything at McDonald's is fire.
Yeah, I've never gotten that before. We used to have that in Hamilton when like I was really young and missed out. So
I just tell people what they would recognize the most easiest.
It's like the most. It's like
and you say Canadian pizza, and it's like, what the fuck is that? You know, it's like
I want to be able to say Hamilton pizza one day, but you know, like you still have to explain it to them what it is, right?
I know.
So like at the end of the day, people like to hear something like Justin said, like we'll tell them like it's a cross, like a hybrid between like New York and Italian pizza, kind of, you know.
Yeah.
But even then, there's so many different kinds of Italian pizzas.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, it's one of those moments where it's like, you got to keep it a little bit simple for like the average guest to understand.
Yeah. It's like a marketing tactic. It's like anything too much, you end up having to like explain something to somebody.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like, I'm just going to tell you, it's like a traditional American style pizza.
Exactly.
Okay, yes.
They got to be able to tell their friends, you know, like if you tell them this whole essay, they're going to forget. And they're not going to be able to spread the word, and you know.
Yeah.
So
the average person on the street doesn't care about the details and the minutia of pizza as much as you know, somebody like Andy and I or you.
Yeah.
So explaining a lot of things, a lot of the times I've felt is just a waste of time.
Yeah.
Just keep it simple.
Overrated, underrated, a website.
Underrated. I mean, people need a hub to see your menu on. I think that if you are putting too much on your website, that's a little overrated. You know, there's social media now where you can put all of your content on. Yeah.
So that's overrated. Underrated? Underrated. You said underrated.
Underrated.
Okay.
Overall, underrated.
Underrated. You only get one overrated and underrated, just so you know, and you already got it. So you got to stick to one, okay? That's the rules.
For me, we're allowed to disagree, right?
Yeah, of course. It's funnier that way.
We have to.
Let's align on this one.
We're on the same team, right? Still, I think they're underrated just because a lot of people nowadays, you know, like they want to be able to, what do you call it? Like order online and not have to do the interaction with people. I find that's what people want. We like to do the phone call. We like to keep it a little bit more personable like that, which that's why I would like it. But, you know, like I think just to make us more people, like make our product more accessible. Having websites is definitely like one of those keys to that.
Yeah. And now that I think about it, I mean, social media is obviously very important, but one day your Instagram account might get shut down, or TikTok might not be a thing anymore. Yeah. You know what we saw with Vine, Facebook.
Vine was, dude, shout out Vine.
Yeah, Vine was
tight.
Crazy. Yeah. And all of that content, all of those creators, you know, that had heavily relied on Vine, just, you know, disappeared.
Yeah.
So creating your own brand on your own platform is something that I want to work on. And even if it never happens, there's so much value in having your own subscribers.
Yeah, like a mailing
list, or just something where you can collect that data and information from your customers is definitely valuable. And I think that is super underrated. People aren't utilizing that as much as they should be.
Yeah, no doubt. Really, really well said. What did you think I was going to ask you?
About Pizza Masters.
Oh,
yeah.
We've listened to this segment before.
We've talked about it a lot too.
People, I like overrated, underrated. Pizza Master.
Underrated. Yeah, I love Pizza Master, honestly.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
I'm glad we finally got a guest who actually likes this oven. I did. Listen, just so everyone out there knows, when I asked this question, I thought that everyone was going to say, I love my Pizza Master, but every time I've asked it, we got some very honest responses.
All the people that own Pizza Masters?
Yes, and these people own Pizza Masters. And I have gripes about it too, which I feel like...
You use Pizza Master?
I have a Pizza Master.
Okay, yeah.
But you should be able to critique an oven and give somebody feedback just as a customer. We're their customer.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
And so they need to be open to it. But the way that it had been handled via social media, I felt like it was kind of... no one was knocking it. Everyone actually was kind of saying, here's some flaws in the system.
Yeah.
Maybe, but like you can make great pizzas out of this oven.
Absolutely. And I've heard, you know, a lot of the different arguments about why people don't like Pizza Master or why they really do. And, you know, people are right. They don't have other features that other ovens might have. There might be ovens. There probably are ovens out there that have, you know, newer technologies and new features that are great. But when it comes to just making a pizza, it's got everything that we need. You know, it gets hot. You're able to control the floor. You're able to control the top heat. We don't really need too much bells and whistles when it comes to that. But would I say it's the best oven that's completely out there? I don't know. You know, I saw this oven out there and the door was heated. They had elements on the door so that when you're opening and closing it, you're able to retain a little bit more heat.
No thanks. You'll also fucking burn the shit out of yourself, dude.
Fair.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, that is very fair.
Dude, you want to fucking die?
But, you know, looking at those advancements in technology with different ovens and whatnot, like I said, I'm not going to say Pizza Master's got the best features or is the best oven out there. But for everything that we've needed, it's worked out for us.
Yeah.
You know, we've had to get in maintenance. We've had to call technicians to come through and, you know, do work on it. We recently had to get a door fixed on our Pizza Master. And
replacement.
Yeah, a replacement door.
Well, yeah, with the numbers you guys are banging out.
Yeah. And it wasn't cheap. But, you know, at the end of the day, like, we haven't had any major problems with it where we're like, you know, fuck this company. We're going with another oven company.
Yeah. No, listen, I have made the best pizzas of my life out of a Pizza Master.
Yeah.
Like it handles a late night rush. It's good, got a good recovery.
Yep.
Like it's easy to use.
Yep.
I love the fact
the
that
ease of use is nice.
I love that it reminds me of like a fucking DeLorean. Like the control scene, it reminds me of a fucking DeLorean, and like I just think there's a lot of pluses. I'm a fan of the oven.
Same.
Yeah. I'm glad I asked you. So Pizza Master, underrated. Spiral mixers.
Underrated. Yeah. Love spiral mixers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you guys have a brand that you use?
We use a Hobart.
We have
Hobart,
You have
a Hobart spiral mixer.
You have dude, then you have like a $20,000 mixer?
Oh yeah. It's a hefty mixer.
My boys. That's why that fucking shit is.
220-pound mixer.
Oh, dude, those are like some of the most expensive spirals, dude. I was like,
it's built well.
Who the fuck has? Who's $28,000 for a goddamn mixer? How big is it?
2,200. Oh, sorry, 220 pounds.
Nice.
So what is that in kilos? Like
it's like 100.
I forgot. It's big. It's
it's a big
100
boy.
kilos.
Yeah, it's 100 kilos. It's I know what that is.
Yeah. So no, it's
It's a big boy.
and it's still it's not that it has a hard time keeping up, but like we still need to make 3 batches on like the busy days.
Damn, that's sick.
so it's like
So you need a bigger mixer, really.
essentially, but we need a bigger facility too. You know,
you guys just need that commissary.
Yeah. One day. But no, spiral mixers, in order to make like a good pizza that you're gonna like make good dough that you're gonna ferment for a long time, like keep that, the
Less friction.
less friction.
It's gonna heat up slower, so it gives you more ability to just kind of get that mix that you want.
Yeah, and speed too on a spiral.
Yeah.
It slaps much harder, especially
Yeah.
with like the bar. Like you get way more. It's just I don't
Have
know.
you used a single speed spiral mixer?
A single speed spiral?
Yeah.
I have not.
No, they're so
I would.
bad.
Yeah.
hate
I mean, then you have no flexibility.
Yeah, exactly. Like they're good for like I'm sure for other baking processes, but like for pizza where you're trying to get that knead in quickly without, elongating the mix time or like making it too hot, that second speed is prime. So
Yeah, those two things, like a spiral mixer and an electric oven, those things are like the you want your pizza to go to the next level.
Yep.
Like you could be making the best dough and have like a
Yes.
sick baker's pride with a planetary mixer, and you could be so tight. But those two things, regardless, those tools will up your fucking bake, your brand, your life.
oh yeah.
Yeah, spiral mixers totally underrated.
Yes, agreed. I have one more. I was gonna ask you: is there like a Dave Portnoy version of that in Canada?
There's pizza reviewers.
I think there's I think there's Dave
Yeah.
Portnoy versions everywhere you go now.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some guys that are doing it a little bit bigger. I don't know who's like the biggest one that's doing it, but there's definitely a few guys that we see even here. They show up at the Pizza Expo. Not pizza makers, they're just pizza review guys.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh shit, like, because they're from Ontario, like the province that we're from.
Mm-hmm.
So, they review a lot. Who would you say is like...
I mean, even before we started the pizzeria, most of my, I guess, career in pizza was just reviewing pizzatography, just taking photographs of pizza. I wasn't, doing the whole, I'm out front of the place eating the pizza. I got on Instagram before there was stories and videos.
Yeah.
So it was very much geared towards photography. We snowballed it into actually owning a restaurant.
Yeah. Well, I'd ask you overrated, underrated on social media, but I think I know the answer. I think you kind of already answered it too.
Yeah. Yeah. Social media is great. I encourage everybody to really try to figure out, how to make social media work for them, because it certainly worked for us. Ours was like a really long play. It started off, with, like I said, blogging the pizzas and just doing reviews and building up an audience of people that really like pizza and really like following the journey and figuring out how to monetize that audience into something. And opening up a pizzeria was the perfect move.
I'll ask you one more.
Yeah.
Overrated, underrated, competing in pizza competitions.
Underrated. Yeah. It's the thing is too though, you gotta tell the story properly, right?
You guys are great storytellers.
Yeah, if you win a whole bunch of awards and nobody knows about it, then super overrated. But if you go and even if you don't win and you're showing your community and you're educating them on why this pizza is really good and why we go to these awards, it helps build that culture we were talking about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Did the World Pizza Champions come after you guys and try to give you chef coats after you won?
Yeah, we said no though.
Are you dead? Are you serious? No. Dude, damn, dude. I was like, you get back to Canada. It's like, you have it's like you pick up your phone. And you're like, you have a phone call from Tony G. May he connect? And you're like, yes. Hey, Andy, I would like to invite you to the World Pizza Champions. That's what I thought it would be like.
I'm honestly curious, just as much as you are. I don't know if you've asked somebody that is in it.
You have to be voted in.
Yeah.
You can get blackballed and shit.
Yeah.
Like it's like becoming a Freemason. Like 3 people have to vote you in.
We're doing our own thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we're trying to pave a lane for sure.
Of course.
Yeah, we want people to be joining our club.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have plans for that.
Yeah.
Is like we always talk about in that sense. We're not like being like, oh, we want to be a part of their club. We want to make our own. You know,
I think there's like a bit of a shift there. I think there's like so many now little niche communities that like you want to be in the community, but it's like you can build your own community.
Yes.
For me, we're building a community with this podcast. It's like super positive and like it's inclusive to really anyone that wants to come on for the most part. But like it's just a different vibe. Or like Gosney's another like pizza situation. Like there's a lot of people that fuck with Gosney and they've created a community. So there's not this like one lane where it's you gotta like put on a chef coat and fucking like be this person, you know? So I think that like that's been a cool shift. And what you said, like we want to make our own community. Like that's where it's at. That's what like I think makes the restaurant or like the pizza community like a better doper community when it's not just like this one single
you have options
single thing where it's like oh I guess I got to join that clique, you know.
And shout outs to them, you know, they've made some great contributions to the scene.
They've made huge contributions. I think Tony G is like single-handedly made pizza like a very cool thing.
Of course.
He's like the original cool dude. 17 or 36 years in the industry. You're like, dude, the dude has done it all. And like shout outs to him. And the team is a non-profit. Don't get me wrong. I fucking like it's easy to point at and make jokes about, right? But what they're doing is cool. What they're doing is their thing. It's just it's not for everybody. Obviously, you guys would say no if they called you some.
For sure.
Andy just
no, for sure. I would.
Justin's like, I'm in, but Andy's out. Dude, you fucking have a great divide because one of you joins the WPC and the other one doesn't. And then it's like, I'm going to the other team. Then it gets cool again because there's this sick battle. Oh, then it's like WCW versus
like
WWF.
Yeah, we gotta do it for the beef.
Oh, that would be tight, dude.
I've always wanted to create like a fake beef.
Dude, you know what I'm saying? Anything else you guys want to say? Any shout outs? Again, appreciate you guys taking the time to come up here. Room 2326.
Shout out to our crew back at home. You know, everybody who helped us get here and holding down the fort while we're here.
Yeah, shout outs to the crew. Shout outs to Alex. Shout outs to Ali. Yeah, man. Shout outs to the Pizza Expo. Honestly, we're here having a good time. Thank you guys for putting the thing on.
Yes.
If it wasn't for the Pizza Expo, there's a lot of people that I wanted to have been able to meet, and
So thank you, World Pizza Champions. We all want chef coats.
Yes.
All right, later.
You owe us chef coats, actually.
I hope you enjoyed that episode. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We appreciate you. We love you. Thank you so much.